make it a little bit easier for you to use on a day-to-day basis. So to get to the Microsoft Office Outlook web application, you just go to office.com in any browser. When you go there, if you've been to and signed into the office.com page before, it will pop up asking or welcoming you back and asking you to sign in as that person. If you have never been in before, in the upper right-hand corner, there'll be a sign in button. Either way, you just click on the sign in and enter your user name, which will be your email address, and then the password associated with your account. When you sign in, you will initially get a view of all the applications you have access to. Most of you will probably see Outlook, Calendar, People, Tasks. Some additional applications may be here, depending on your licensing agreement. Clicking on the Outlook will bring you into the mail portion or the email portion in general of Outlook. And as I'm sure all of you noticed, when you first log in, it is much different than Zimbra and Zimbra Functions. Probably the biggest difference is going to be this focused versus other email inbox. And the reason why this is here is Microsoft, starting in 2013 and 2016, to help make sure that the emails that come in on a day-to-day basis don't get in the way of workflow, have put up an algorithm that goes through and sees if an incoming email is addressed to you or it has a particular subject line or content matter that is associated with what you would do on a day-to-day basis, and it pops it up inside of a focused inbox. All emails that do come into your account will be either separated out into your general junk mail or into focused or other. The other accounts typically are emails that you probably do want to see. They're not junk emails, but they might be from a newsletter or from a vendor or from a conversation that isn't necessarily directly in reference to you. And it is just kind of in the general flow of communications. If this particular separation between a focused and other inboxes is something that is a distraction to you or you want to get rid of it, it's pretty easy to do so. I'm going to talk about that right now. In the upper part of your web browser, you'll see this little black bar, which is called the title bar, that has your notifications, as well as the little gear icon. The gear icon will allow you to open it up and take a look at your settings. Inside of your settings, there are a whole bunch of different options. These are put out here in a efforts to try to make it easier for you to customize particular aspects of your Microsoft Outlook experience, ordered in how often people tend to use them. First and obvious, automatic replies. This is a pretty straightforward system. If you're going to be on vacation or if you're sick or whatever, and you want to set an automatic reply, you specify the date, the time, and indicate to whom you're going to be replying with this automatic reply. Pretty straightforward, I believe. In an effort to get rid of this focus and other, though, we're going to be looking at the display settings. Inside of the display settings, there are a number of different aspects. The reading pane, which is how the email appears in your inbox. If you want it on the right side where the messages are at the bottom, you can customize that as you want. You can also customize how the message list shows up, conversations associated with that. And I'll get into conversations again in a little bit, but right now we're going to talk about the focused inbox. If you don't want to separate out into this focused and other for your inbox, you can just click on Don't Sort Messages and click on OK at the top and then OK again. And this will make it so that your inbox is like traditional inbox and all incoming emails will be populated accordingly. Now, I do want to talk about another feature that is different than Zimbra, and that is Conversations. Microsoft Office, starting in 2013 and on, introduced the idea of conversations to kind of compete with the Gmail equivalent. What that is that any email that is on a particular subject will be stored in a set of conversations that you can easily track what was said about a particular topic, going back from the first time it was sent either from you or received to you, and what actions you had taken internally in a timeline, so that if you do need to track back, you can easily find it. It also indicates if there is a particular attachment or if it was a reply that you put out to everybody and the like. The way that you can tell if there is a conversation with any particular message is there is a little triangle that appears next to the subject of that particular email that you're looking at. To see it, you just click on the little triangle and it will pop down on the existing conversation associated with that. Unfortunately, for the Microsoft Outlook web application, there's no way to turn conversations off. So it's just part of what will be there in your day-to-day business. So that, in short, is some of the overall functionality that you get inside of Microsoft Outlook. I do want to talk a little bit quickly about the folders here. When you first log in the first time, you might see the menu on the left looking like this. You'll have your folders and then groups or any other additional aspects that are part of your Microsoft Outlook experience. If you do want to see more of the folders outside of these initial favorited items, you click on the More button, and that'll populate out so you can see your entire email folder structure as you had it in Zimbra. Now, there is another aspect to this. There is at the very top something called favorites. These favorites are email boxes that or folders that you often end up interacting with on a day-to-day basis. These can be removed or added as you wish. And the way to remove them really quickly is there's a star right next to the folder. You click on that star, and it'll ask you if you really do want to remove that item from your favorites. You click on OK, and it goes away. Now, let's say you want to add one back in. You can quickly do that by just clicking on the star next to the item you want to add in to your favorites. Now, as you do day-to-day workflow, you might be working with a particular client a lot. So you can grab that folder and throw it into your favorites really quickly. So it's always there at the very top, easy to get to. If you don't want it anymore, you can always just click on Remove from Favorites, and it will go back into the normal organized folder flow down the lower right. If you ever need to move an email from your inbox out into any of your subfolders, it's pretty simple to do. You just click on it. You drag it to where you want it to go, and you can let it go, and it will drop into that particular conversation. You can also set rules for any email. If you right-click in the particular email that you want to, you can click on a Create Rule. Rules are a automated action on all incoming emails. You can set it to be received from or to, add whatever condition, and you can tell it exactly what you want it to do. These are fairly customizable, so you might want to play with them a little bit, get an understanding of what it can or can't do. And we can spend some more time on this in the future if you think that would be beneficial for you. So I'm going to cancel out of that. And the other thing is if you do get an email and you want to say, hey, this is a junk email, you just click on the email that you're looking at. You click on the junk folder, and you can say it's junk or phishing. If you get an email that seems to be from somebody who you think is not reputable, asking you to do something, let's say it appears to be from FedEx or from UPS or from a client asking you to do something you don't think they should, you can report it as phishing, and that allows the administrators on our account to take a look at it as such and take action as needed. So that's a quick overview of the functionality of the Microsoft Outlook web application, in particular for the email section. I do want to take a quick second to talk about the calendar, which you can find down here in the lower left-hand section. You'll have the mail, the calendar, people, which is what Microsoft calls contacts, as well as tasks. You can set to-dos for yourself to follow up on. Inside of the calendar application itself, it's pretty straightforward. You can configure the view that you're looking at to be a work week, the month, or the day, depending on how you want to interact with your calendar. The one thing I do want to mention really quickly is if you want to add somebody else's calendar from inside of the company, you can do that really quickly by clicking on Add Calendar, and from Directory, choose the person you want to add and click on Open. What this will do is it will reach out into the Microsoft Outlook backend. It'll take a look at the person you're adding. In this case, I added Jerry's calendar, and you'll have a quick view of when they're available. This is useful if you're trying to schedule meetings internally. If you look at a work week, what happens is there are different colors for different people. You by default will be a light bluish color. You can customize this and change it if you want to. The person you add will be a different color. In this case, Jerry's are kind of a greenish color. In your calendar, if you want to quickly add a meeting at any time, you just click anywhere on it. And then you can specify locations if you want to, and just click on Save. If you want to invite other people to it, click on More Details in the lower right, and this will pop up a little more detailed information. You can specify a location or a room, you can time and everything. If you need to repeat it, busy, write your agenda in it as necessary. And then over here, this is where you would add people. By default, it will try to find people that are inside of our organization, but if you want to send it to anybody outside of the organization, you need just type their email address. Once you're done, you just click on Save. If you're inviting other people, it'll change the Save icon to a Send icon, so you send them an invite for the particular meeting. Once you click on Save, it'll appear on your calendar, as well as you'll get reminders depending on how you want to set your alarms for particular meetings. Now, if we go back to the work week, you'll notice that I've set a test meeting at 2 o'clock today for myself. So I'm blue, so my test meeting is blue. Jerry's calendar is also still visible, and it is green. If you want to remove anybody's calendar that you've added to your calendar because it got too busy or you're not that concerned about what they're doing anymore, you can just click on remove, and they are gone from your calendar. So that's a quick 10 to 15 minute introduction into some of the features in Microsoft Outlook web access application. If you have any questions, or if there's anything you want me to go in more depth or details, or any features of Zimbra that you use that you can't use or can't figure out how to use in Microsoft Outlook Online, please don't hesitate to send me an email. And my email is nick, N-I-C-K-O-N-E-I-L-L @totalcomm.com, and I will try to find an answer if I don't know it, or talk about it the next time I put together one of these quick little tips. Thank you very much, and I hope you guys are having a great day.